Dude, my nose is so wet right now, but I don't have anything around me to remedy this wetness. I need to find something to like remedy this wetness because my nose is always running. I'm like, there has to be a point where liquids inside of me like dry up. I don't know what's going on, but hello, welcome you guys. I remember what my intros are usually like. I was gonna start crocheting because I finally finished my pansexual or whatever the fuck you want to call it, my little thingamabobber, recently yesterday. And I just have that urge to start another project and leave it unfinished for another month. But I don't know. I've been like fighting. I've been like trying to decide what pattern I want to use because normally I don't use the pattern. I usually just like look for stitches. And that's what I want to do now. I usually look for like stitches that I want to use and then, just like fuck it, freeform it. But I just can't figure out a stitch I want to use. But right now, I'm kind of envisioning like a beachy vibe a little bit where, because like this color has been in my inventory for so long and it's just a beautiful, beautiful color. And I just want to use it up and I'm just not sure what to do with it. I was thinking of like doing a shell stitch with it, but I don't like how shell stitches look on me. And so I've been like trying to find like a stitch I like, but the only one that I like is a grid. And so I'm like trying to push myself because I made one, two, three. There's another one in there. Four, five. I made like six or more of like the grid pattern. And so I'm like thinking that I need to like do something different. And so that's what I've been trying to research and I just cannot decide on one because I don't want to do the wavy one again because like I told you guys last time, I don't fuck around with like I just don't think that stripes look good on me and so I just don't use it. But like if you look good in stripes, good for you. Okay, good for you. But some of us just don't look good in stripes. And so I've been trying to find I'm on Pinterest by the way, trying to look for like a stitch that I would think would work well with these combos. And I'm trying to look for more kind of like, airy, kind of shell like, almost kind of like this maybe. But I'm not sure if this is something I would prefer, honestly. So I just have to keep on looking around. But honest to God, I've been like looking around since fucking 8. Right now it's 11. And so it's been 3 hours. And I'm just like, I'm so picky with my stitches. Because once I start, maybe I kind of like this one but I just don't know. I'll just screenshot it for now. I don't know because I've never done vertical. I think that's something I might try with this. It's tried to do like vertical stripes and see if I like that, and if I don't, then I can just kill myself. But I don't know. I've also been listening to. I'll show you guys my second MacBook because I'm so rich. But don't make fun of it because this is like my old MacBook. I've been listening to Brat, and I've just been in a good mood. Well, not a good mood actually. I've been actually in a pissy mood, but I've been in a good mood since listening to that time. I've just been like, apples. I just something about it is just so good, so good. You know what? You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start with chains. Actually, no. Actually, I should figure out a pattern. I don't even know why I hopped on a video. Sometimes I just start things, knowing damn well that I probably should finish another thing, and then things happen. But I'm just there's a lot going in my head right now. I kind of like this pattern, but knowing me, I probably like start to lose count and just want to end it all by the end by like when I do the sleeves. But we'll see. I don't know. I feel like every time I do something like complicated, my brain just wants to like fucking fry out, and I don't know. I feel like crochet should be something that is like calming to me because there's a lot of things that stress me out in my life. And well, they're not like horrible stressors to the point where it's like, oh, I'm going to go into like debt or I'm going to like have to like claim bankruptcy or some shit like that. But like just like normal stress. It's not like stress where like it's world ending, but like, like everyday stress. Like you can be stressed without, having to be like horrifically stressed. I think. I don't know. I probably should watch a tutorial for these because I don't even know how to read like normally. I don't think I can like read these without losing brain cells. You know what? I've been like looking at like the fucking diamond ones, but I think I'm kind of tired of diamonds because I did a lot of that last summer and I got so sick of it. And so I don't know, but we will just have to see. But anyways, I don't think I was coming onto this video to talk about all this and that. I just wanted to update you guys that I finished my cardigan, so now I'm looking for a new one. I feel like such a millennial with my fucking phone up to my face, but that's just how I act. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna hold this right now because I feel like holding something, but maybe I should I'll hold my pillow because it feels like it's a little bit more normal. Actually, no, that's too much. I'll just hold this for now so I can like think about it. I think if I have something in my hand, I'll think about it more. But I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit more about. I feel like I like mentioned this a little bit. I don't know in what video. I don't even know if I want to talk about this topic because I'm like I just don't know if I could like communicate it as well as I probably should. So maybe I won't talk about it actually. So what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Let me try to find the little thingamabobber in here. I hope the baby doesn't come out. Because I just want like a... Usually I'll have my homie do this for me because I don't like going into like a yarn pussy. And so I try to, you know, let someone else who's more experienced go into it because, you know, things happen. But I don't know how they find it so fast. Oh, is that it? That has to be something, right? Oh my god, I think a baby's gonna come out. Oh, there. Told you a baby's gonna come out. I'll just work with this, I guess. Because I already know what I kind of want to do, and I just want to do it. So, and like chaining is like super easy, so we can do that for a little bit. I think I'm gonna use a fairly big hook for this one. I've been kind of liking using bigger hooks. I've been using this recently, and I might even bump it up to a 6 if I'm feeling that frisky. Where is the number on this? This is a 6. The biggest one I have is a 6, I believe. I've been working with whatchamacallums, the plushies, and so I have to use like really small ones. And now that I'm able to make something that's a little bit bigger, I'm a little bit more excited in that regard. And so we'll just do that, and I'll just figure it out as we go. I kind of wish I came on here with a topic. I usually do, but nowadays I just kind of want to talk, and so we'll just talk and we'll just figure out where it goes. But well, you guys already see the date at the bottom of the video. If you don't, then go check it out. But essentially it's July 3rd, and my parents are like, oh, you should go to your cousin's house. And I have not been to his house because we've been beefing low-key. Maybe I should share this because this is something that's like kind of going on in my life, and I'm not sure if it's ever going to improve. And so might as well just talk about it and see, you know, what the future holds, because, you know, things might change. But essentially, I have this cousin. I'm not going to name names, but we've been like really close ever since like we moved to America and stuff like that. Well, ever since he moved to America, and we just been, you know, neck and neck. Like every time we would go to like family parties, we was just like, oh, where's so and so, you know, because we're just in tune like that. I don't know why, but like this lighting makes me look so morose. Doesn't even do shit. Okay, let me fix myself real quick. Maybe I should just... No, I don't want to move myself. I just don't like how this lighting is. That's even worse. Why is the lighting being so shitty right now? Hold the phone. Okay, this lighting right now is pissing me off, and I'm just gonna move around a little bit to see if I like it. I need to stop letting hooks lay around because... Oh my days. The lighting right now is pissing me off! Is that better? I don't know. I guess it's a little bit better. I just don't like the way the lighting is looking right now. Maybe I have to like fiddle around with it. That just has to do. That just has to do. I don't want to fucking dick around with it too much. Oh my gosh. But anyways, okay. So this is like a little bit of like, not a story time, but whatever. So essentially me and this cousin, we were like super close when we were like younger, and we used to be. And so basically every time, you know, we would like go to family parties, we would always, you know, be hanging out, and we were just like, you know, like, oh, you're here, then why isn't the other one here? And they'll like ask, and we'll just be like, I don't know where the fuck they are. Like, I just came here, like the fuck. And so, yeah, we've always been tight like that. And, you know, we always did things together and stuff like that. And we lived together at some point. And, yeah, we just did basically everything together. Like, he would drive me home from classes and stuff. Like, we would always, you know, just be hanging out for no fucking reason. And he was basically the one that kind of introduced me into design school, because like at first I didn't even know that there was a design school at the U of M until he was like, yeah, I'm doing like this and that. And I was like, the fuck, we have something like that at the U? And he was like, yeah, the fuck. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because before that we went through like a couple month period where we like stopped talking, mainly because I chose to self-isolate, and so we didn't talk for a little bit. But after that, we just kind of connected like it was nothing. And that's what I kind of like about, having friends in the family, or like being like really close with someone in your family. Just kind of feels like you can just kind of come back together and just, not feel too awkward about it. Because it's like, well, I'm always going to see you because, we're family. And regardless of what, happens, I'm always going to fucking see you. And so that's what I kind of liked about it. But at the same time, we kind of have the like separation of like, oh, like you're my cousin, you're my friend. And like, but it's not like you're like my friend, like I don't have to like check up on you all the fucking time. Like we just connect whenever, and it's always just been like that. And we've been like super close since maybe like elementary. I'm thinking like elementary sometime. I don't know what happened, but I think we just clicked somehow, and we just always been like, pretty good friends. I don't know if he would consider me his best friend, but I don't even know if I consider him my best friend. But you know what? Like right now, I'm not feeling him. But back then, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, he's a really good friend of mine, or like, oh yeah, he's like my favorite cousin, or whatever the fuck, Like I feel like having a favorite cousin is like almost having like a best friend, but like it's not your best friend, it's just your favorite cousin, And I have a lot of cousins, as you know. I have well, I don't really want to talk about those other fuckers, but yeah. And so yeah, we were doing fairly well. Like I said, we were living together, and so when I was living up in the apartment, I was living with my cousins. I lived with one guy, we'll call him frat boy, and then my other cousin, we'll just call him cousin, okay? But like the frat boy, I still talk to him occasionally. Like we have no beef. We've never been close. I don't think he likes me that much, but I don't really live my life for people to like me, and so if he doesn't like me, then so be it. But I guess we're good. Like I feel like our families are closer. Like the frat cousin and my family are closer compared to like my other cousin and like his family. But me and the frat cousin are just not as close because we just don't have a lot in common. Like we do, but we don't. Like I imagine him to be kind of like my brother. Like I don't like him, but I grew up with him, and so it's kind of like you just have to deal with him, Like it's not like, oh, I hate you, this and that. It's just like, I don't like you, but like I'll put up with you, and I think you're like an okay person. I just don't want to deal with you 24/7. I have nothing in common with you and stuff like that, But it's not like I don't, like if he died, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, fuck that dude. Like I hated that bitch. Like I'd obviously be sad about it. I think I'd be sad if like anybody around me died, but like, yeah, But anyways, so the other cousin, we were living together, and around that time, we were going to Vietnam. And this is something I left out of my Vietnam story because I was kind of like, oh man, like it was still kind of fresh in my mind, and so I didn't want to talk about it because I was like, But anyways, so me and him traveled to Vietnam together, and it was my first time like traveling outside of the country, and especially to a place like Vietnam where my speaking skills are just like elementary. They are elementary at best, and so I can understand everything, but like my speaking skills definitely could use a little bit of Duolingo help, but like I don't want to because I'm a little stubborn in that regard. I think this is probably big enough. I feel like I always make things either too small for my liking or too big. And when I mean too small, I've never made anything that's like too small where my titties are popping out, but like I just expect it to be bigger. And so I just am a little bit more, anxious about it. But anyways, so yeah, me and him traveled to Vietnam together, and it was my first time like traveling out of the country, and so it was really great to have extra help around. Not extra help, but like have someone who's actually like fluent in the language to communicate. Okay, now that I keep getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to figure out like what pattern. My phone is hot as fuck right now. Okay, I don't know what pattern I want to do, so I'm just gonna shut up and just tell the story. Okay, so I hope you guys are okay with that because it just is. We'll just leave the babies. I don't know about. Well, anyways, so yes, so yeah, he was like basically my translator as we were like going through, and it was really nice to have someone you actually knew when you were traveling like this big of a distance, right? And so I was really appreciative of him going there. We just vibing. We like I think we just got a hotel and we just we're chilling. And since I'm really comfortable with him, it was a lot more fun. But I feel like if I was with my other cousins, I would be in like a kind of more nervous mood. But since I was with someone I trusted, I was a lot more happy. And once we got to Vietnam, we were fine. Like we were like his sister took us around and we were just having fun, and then he while we were in Vietnam for like that month, he went to go live with his family, like his mom's side of the family, and I lived with my dad's side of the family, which is also his dad's side. And so I lived with my grandma mostly, and he lived with his mom's mom, which is his grandma. And so we didn't see each other for a little bit, but like we'll see each other like occasionally, like during the wedding and stuff like that. We'll just like link up and stuff like that. And I don't know what happened, but like at the end of the trip, we just stopped talking. I don't know what happened. Like for some reason there was like this like flip right in between the trip, and I'm not sure what happened. I've thought about it throughout like the entire year that we've been back. And I just don't know what happened. Like I was like, did I do something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Like what happened? Like there was just like I don't like saying this word, but the vibe was just off. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because we were fine at the wedding, which was like midway. And so I was like, what was going on? Because we were talking during the wedding, we were taking pictures, we were just, fucking dicking around during the wedding. And then for some reason, I could not tell you when the switch up happened, but it happened. And I'm just not sure what occurred. And it was okay because I was like, okay, we're in Vietnam and I'm surrounded by my other cousins that I've never met before. And so I was hanging out with them. I was hanging out with my mom's side of the family, and I was just like traveling around with my cousin that was taking me around. She's on my wall, but like I'm not gonna show you, but she's on the wall. If you guys ever see that little pink Polaroid, like that's her. And so she was like taking me around, and so I was hanging around with her a lot. And then so I wasn't like thinking about it too much when I was in Vietnam, but when we were traveling back, that was an issue because we booked our tickets together assuming that we'd be okay. So we booked our tickets because like we were finishing up finals, and so we left after our entire family left. And so that's why I traveled with him. Otherwise I would travel with my mom or dad or something like that, but no, we were finishing up our finals, and we were worried that like it would clash, but no, it worked out fine in the end. But so that's why we were traveling together, because we left I think a week or two after my mom and dad and his mom and dad left. And so we were going to travel back together because the parents I think left earlier than us, and we I think so, yeah, they left earlier and we left like a little bit after that. And then so at the tail end, we were, we got a hotel together because his sister was going to go back a day before us. And so we just got a hotel for us to stay in because I think our flights were delayed like 10 hours in between. So we figured just get a hotel near the airport that we were getting. And so that's what we did. And throughout that entire like hotel experience, like it was just dead silence. Like we didn't talk, we didn't say anything. And I don't know if it's because he was angry at me or something. Like I like, you have to be straight up with me when it comes to like arguments and stuff like that, because I'm fucking stupid. And so if you're like, oh, you did this and that, and I'll just be like, okay, I'm sorry about that. Like I'll be a little bit defensive because I get defensive like that. But like I'll quickly be like, okay, like Quinn, just admit you're wrong. Like you're probably wrong in this case, and then like you probably don't think you're wrong in this instance, but just say you're sorry because you're probably in the wrong. You just need to think about it more. So I always say like, oh shit, I'm sorry, and I like take accountability for it or whatever, or like fess up to whatever the fuck I need to. But like in this instance, like I don't know if this makes any sense, but he's like a Scorpio and I'm an Aries, and so when one of us, or like when both of us flip, it's very difficult to kind of get back to the place we were before, because we're both very stubborn people and very just kind of like aloof people, where we don't really like show our emotions like heavily, like like that's why I don't know if I consider him my best friend, because like we've always just kind of been like that, and we never really felt the need to be like, oh, I love you, or like, oh, I care about you and stuff like that. We're just calling each other bitches and calling each other ugly and calling each other the F word, just because we're just like that. And so I just have never been like really emotional with him, so I didn't know how to confront the situation, because I've never really been in that situation as to where I have to like be like, oh, like what the fuck is going on with us, like, because like normally there's nothing going on with us. Usually it's us beefing against our other cousins because they don't get us like we do, okay? But during this trip, I was just not sure what the fuck was going on. I don't know if there was, because at first I was like, oh, is he sick? Is there something wrong with him? Like, is there something wrong going on in his family? Is like someone in his family like having an issue? So that's why I like left him alone for a little bit, so he could like figure it out, not figure it out, but like let everything settle and let his emotions settle a little bit. And so that's why I just gave him space, because that's what I normally do for people who I think are going through something. I'm like, let me give you some space, like you like work it out on yourself, and if you want to come talk to me, you're able to, or whatever the fuck. And so I gave him space in that regard. And then, but like when we finally linked up for the hotel before going home, I was like, well, there was a couple other instances. So like after the wedding, I thought we were fine, and then there was like a kind of a dead space where I would hang out with my family and he was out with his family, and then there was this instance where his sister invited me to go to another part of Vietnam, kind of like in the more kind of rural side of Vietnam, to go visit their side of the family. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm in Vietnam, let's go to another part of Vietnam, like fuck it, let's go. And then so we took a road trip there, and I think I felt the vibes were kind of off in that car trip as well. I think that was the first time I kind of noticed there was something off, because I was with my younger cousin that I've talked about. I don't get to see her often because she lives in Oklahoma, but like during this trip, she like got really attached to me, because I think that I was like the only one that was like near her age that would actually interact with her. And so she got like really attached to me, and so I like asked her mom if she wanted to come on this trip, and her mom's like, yeah, whatever the fuck, like get her away from me. And I was like, and then so, you know, me and her on the trip, and so I got someone to interact with on that trip. And then normally I would interact with my other cousin, my guy cousin, but since, you know, the vibes were off, I was like, okay, I guess I'll interact with this little cousin. And like, I'm not saying that she was like a substitute, because I like talking to her, but at the same time I would have preferred like both of us talk to her, like me and my cousin talk to her as well. But no, we like, something was off, and I guess I kind of clocked it when we were kind of driving there, and he was just kind of being quiet, and I was just kind of like, okay, like I don't want to push it, I don't want to say anything. So I was just chatting up with her, and throughout the entire trip it just felt like that motherfucker didn't want to talk to me. I don't know what it is. Like, I wish I could tell you there was an excellent explanation to all of this, but there isn't. I just don't know what went on. And so during the entire trip, like, I got to like meet his side of the family, meet his cousins, and they were really chill people. We played Uno until like because I didn't know like Vietnamese kids knew Uno like that, but they did. And so we played Uno up until like 4 a.m, and we were just having a blast. I was having so much fun. Like, all the kids were having fun because his cousins are like younger. They're 10, 14-ish. And so we were having a lot of fun, and we were walking around the rural area of Vietnam, and it was actually really fun. But there was like dudes that were riding on their fucking motorbikes, just like running past us and I think like the girl there was like familiar with this, and she was like, okay, just don't look at them, like they're just being weird, they're being boys. But it was like kind of freaky deaky, because I was with my younger cousin, my little cousin, and I was like, girl, come close to me. And it was freaky, because like me and him were the adults in this situation. I'm like, I don't feel like an adult, but we are the adult. And so we like hurried our ass home, because after that I was like, yeah, we're done, we're cut it. But yeah, and so after that I was like, okay, the vibes are off, I don't know what's going on, because before that we were doing fine. I don't know. Like, I would meet his family, and, he would introduce me, be like, oh, this and that. And then we just joke around and, like, dick around. And then we'll update each other about what's going on with, like, our side, whatever. And then I don't know. After that trip, I was like, okay, whatever. And then so we had that, like, little lull. And then, what was it? And then, yeah, we just went to the hotel after that. I don't remember if we interacted. If we did, it was like really minimal interactions. But yeah, so we got to the hotel, and like we shared a room together, because his sister's the one that got married, and so that's why I went to Vietnam. And so his sister and her husband shared a room, and me and him shared a room. And like it was like dead silent. Like, I think I got there first or something. I don't remember. I think I like might have gotten into the room first, and he just came in, and he was just silent. Like, he didn't say anything. He didn't even say hi. He didn't even like acknowledge me. He didn't even make eye contact with me. And so obviously I'm someone who's kind of a sheep. And so I'm like, I'm not going to, be confrontational, be like, yo, what's up with us? Like, what's our issue? Like, what's your fucking issue? I'm not confrontational. And I don't want to make a scene when, when he's with his sister and we're trying to have a good time, because it's his sister's, like, basically vacation, her wedding or whatever the fuck. And so I don't want to make a scene and like try to like talk to his sister and be like, do you know what's going on with him, or like stuff like that, because I don't want to make his sister worry on her fucking wedding. And so I just stayed quiet and just pretend like everything is okay. I was vibing with her. I don't know if I was being too annoying. I don't know if I was being like too obnoxious. I don't know what I was doing wrong, because I feel like I was just acting like my normal self. Like, maybe I was off. Maybe I said something wrong to one of his family members. Maybe I said something like offensive to him. Maybe I did something wrong to one of his family members. Maybe, I said something incorrect or whatever. I don't know what I did, which is like, if I knew what I did, I would apologize for it, but I don't know what I did. And me being me, I'm too stubborn to fucking talk to him. And so I just have not talked to him since then. And so during like our little staycation, I feel like it would have been so fun if we were talking, like we were riding around in like fucking carts and stuff. Like we had, because like if you ever go to like Vietnam, there's like people who on bikes that would like cart you around and stuff, which was really fun. And I feel like we would really like that. And we were like going to the beach and stuff. but like he was just being silent throughout the entire thing. Like he would only like talk to his sister or talk to like a husband, but he wouldn't even make eye contact with me. And so the entire time I was just like, I wanted to ask his sister if there was something going on with their family, so I can like make sure that, you know, it's not just thinking that I'm the problem, because I don't want to be selfish in this situation. I don't want myself to think that, you know, like I'm some fucking jackhole making this about myself, when he's probably like when he's maybe like having some issues with like sickness or having some issues with his family. So I don't want to assume that it's all about me when it's maybe about, you know, whatever he's going through. And so I was just too scared, because I don't want to make his sister worry and think that there was something off between us and make her worry when she's supposed to have a good time. Because we were also celebrating her husband's birthday as well, because I don't know, just all the fucking holidays lined up. I don't know what's going on with that. And so I just didn't want to bring it up. It just felt too impersonal. I didn't want to ruin her vacation. I didn't want her to like think that there was something going on. And so, yeah. And so when we were going back from Vietnam, me and him were together, and obviously he wasn't talking to me. And this is vulnerable as fuck, you guys, because I normally don't talk about this, because this was like a time where I was actually like super scared, and I never really talked about this like situation with anybody else, other than my friends, obviously. But like this is, yeah. So anyways, we're going back from Vietnam, and we were in Vietnam together, and he had like his because normally when you come back from Vietnam, you will have like boxes to like get like to like bring home and stuff, and you will have boxes to bring back and forth basically. And so he had like boxes to like check in and stuff, or like get shipped or whatever. I don't remember what the thing is called, but I didn't have to do any of that. And so we were just like standing in line together. Like I think, oh my god, we weren't even standing in line together. I'm lying to you guys right now. So when we got into the airport, like he just like got into line and then didn't even like wait for me, because I thought he would at least like, you know, try to keep me beside him, because he knew that, you know, this is one of my first times getting back. Because my main issue was like, okay, I got into the country, now what? Like what if I get stuck in the country? What if I get stuck in Vietnam? Like obviously I know people that can like, you know, get me, but at the same time I just, anxiety. And so I was expecting him to kind of be, you know, a little bit of a guider, and, you know, try to do the same thing he did with me when we first came into Vietnam, where he was, you know, watching over me and like taking us, and like, you know, really being like, not the responsible person, because, you know, we're both responsible, but like, you know, guide me a little bit, because he'd done this before. He's done this like a couple of times. And so I was expecting him to do the same, even though we weren't talking, but he didn't do that. He just got into like the line to check in, and then like he didn't even wait for me. Like I was like rushing to get my shit together, and then so we just went our separate ways. But like we were traveling the same fucking flight, and we like went our separate ways. Like how is that fucking possible? I don't know. So we were just getting everything checked in, and at one point I like lost sight of him, and I just became so anxious, because I'm like, am I in the wrong line? Did I do something wrong? Am I gonna be stuck here? I was like freaking the fuck out. And I guess it just became so overwhelming that I guess I like this is like, I don't know. Okay, so okay, basically I ended up figuring it out, but the entire time I just felt so anxious, because I didn't know where to go, basically. Like I was just walking around aimlessly, and I felt like a kid in that moment, and I know that I'm like, you know, 20, and I should be able to figure it out, but at the same time it's like I just wanted someone there just kind of just as is. Like I don't need him to guide me. I just needed him to be around, just so I know that, you know, he's safe and I'm safe and I'm doing the right thing and he's doing the right thing. Like I want to make sure that we're all like doing the same thing, you know, and like getting back safe or whatever the fuck. But he wasn't doing that. He was just doing his own thing, like ignoring me basically, and pretending like I wasn't there. And so I didn't know what else to do other than like to reciprocate the same energy. And so, you know, obviously I was anxious for him, but at the same time I was anxious for myself. And so yeah, I like was able to get my fight just fine, and like we didn't even get seated next to each other, so we were fine there. And the flight back was okay, and I guess I was just by the time we got on the flight back to America, I was fine. Okay, by the time we got on the plane back to America, I was like, okay, whatever. But when I was in Vietnam, that was when I was like really worried, because I wasn't sure if I was in the right lane. Like I would just like kind of show them my passport and hope that they would, you know, take me there or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I was like, dude, when I tell you, I was like fucking freaking out. Like I was on the verge of tears. Like, I obviously didn't cry, but I was on the verge of tears, and I was just like, I wanted to text my mom so bad, or like text someone I trusted, or like text like one of my parents, but I didn't, because I was like, okay, like maybe maybe he'll come around, and then maybe he's stressed, right? I was thinking like maybe my cousin is stressed. Maybe he's like stressed out about like the trip back home. Maybe he's stressed out about, you know, maybe something going on with his family, like stressed about something. And so I gave him the benefit of doubt. Like maybe that's what's going on. And so, like I said, I tend to give people space when they're stressed. And I was just presuming that he was stressed. And so I was like, I'll give you your space if that's what you need. That's just how it is. And normally me and him, we're like comfortable with silence, you know? And so this is like a different type of silence. But normally we're okay just sitting in the car, just listening to music, or just sitting in the car and just doing fucking nothing. Like normally we're okay with that. But like this time around, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. And so yeah, once we got on the plane, we weren't seated next to each other. And so I just kind of tried to forget that I was kind of on my own at this point. And I was just, you know, checking over my flight, flight details over and over and over and over again, because I was just like, I have to be responsible for myself now, because I don't know like how I'm going to get home. I don't know, like I don't even have anything lined up to get me home. I don't know if he has anything lined up to get us home. Like, so I was just like, I was freaking the fuck out. So when I landed, I think we landed in San Francisco or like somewhere. So I don't know where we landed, but like there was another flight after that. And so I don't remember what happened. And so so when we got off the flight, I lost him. I didn't know where he was. And at that point I was like, okay, I'm in America and I think I can navigate my way towards her. So at that point I was just kind of like, you know what, fuck him. I was like, fuck him. He probably knows where he's at. He probably, you know, does what he gotta do. He's probably picking up whatever the fuck. And so I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just do what I gotta do. And I got on the next flight, and I think I like managed to like hustle so fast that they were like, you know what? Like, you're actually early. Do you want to go on this flight that's literally leaving right now? And I was like, you being for real? And she was like, yeah, you want to hop on? I was like, so I hopped on that flight. Like, I didn't even hop on the flight that I was supposed to be scheduled on. They were like, you want to go? And I was like, of course I want to go. Like, I want to get home now. And so I got home earlier than I expected. So I called my mom and I was like, dude, at this point, I hadn't talked to anybody in like a normal way. And so when I was talking to my mom on the phone, like I was tearing up, like my voice was like shivering. I was just like, I was explaining to her, I'm like, oh yeah, like I came here an hour early because they moved up my flight or whatever the fuck. And I kind of explained the situation. Like, even my mom doesn't know what like fully went on, but like I explained to my mom like, oh, like my cousin just left me alone. I don't know what I was doing, but I'm back home safe and stuff like that. And when I was telling her that, like I was literally like, my voice was quivering. Oh my gosh, this is like even talking about it now, like I can feel it like tightness in my chest and like that kind of like welding, like whatever the fuck in my eyes. And so I was like talking to my mom. I was like, oh yeah, he like left me and I was like all alone. I was really scared. And my mom, you know, she's not really good at comforting people, and so she was like, oh okay. And she's like, we'll figure it out, like you're home now, we'll figure it out, whatever the fuck. And I was like, yeah. And then, you know, yeah, and then so I got on that flight, and that was a flight back to Minneapolis. And after that, I mean, I obviously got there before him because I don't think he would. I mean, if he caught that flight, then he caught that flight. Like, it'd be kind of interesting if we both caught the same flight back, the flight that we weren't scheduled back. Because, like I said, I was given a flight to go back earlier. So I don't know if he also caught that, but yeah. So anyways, I got on that flight and I got home Minneapolis, and I was like early, and my uncle picked me up, and I just got home, and I was just so tired from traveling. I was so tired from everything, and I just got home. And I guess I just never really thought about it like emotionally after that. But recently I've been having so many dreams of him in, like I've been having a lot of dreams with him in it, and I've just had like, it's all dreams of like us like reuniting and reconnecting and just acting as if nothing has ever happened. And it feels like the dreams don't feel like nightmares or anything. Like, it feels comfortable. Like I feel comfortable in that dream. Like, it feels like he's always been there. But when I wake up, I'm like, oh fuck, like that didn't happen. Like, we did not make up. And I'm like, why is he suddenly in my, it's happened like multiple times this week, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, I have not thought of him recently. I have not, like, even, like, we haven't communicated. Okay, that trip from Vietnam was last winter. I'm not even fucking with y'all. Last fucking winter. And so it's been last winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer. So it's been nearly like 2 years, almost 2 years since I've last spoken to him. And it has just been so, it's felt so weird because this is the longest time we've ever stopped, like ever been out of communication ever. Because like the last time we've been out of communication was probably like what, 4 or 5 months. But this time around, we've been out of communication for like 2 years. And at first, I was kind of like, oh man, like fuck that dude. Like he left me alone on the Vietnam trip to fend for myself, like damn well knowing. Cause like I'm not expecting him to be the adult. I'm not expecting him to take care of me. I'm not expecting him to, be responsible for me. All I wanted from him, all I expected from him was to be by my side as we went through this trip. That's all I expected from him, because that's what you would expect if you booked a fucking flight together and you booked like all your itineraries together. You would expect them to at least be by your side. But no, that motherfucker just went rogue. And so when I came back, I didn't think anything of it. I just assumed that he was going through it with his family or whatever. Like, I still gave him the benefit of the doubt. I still assumed that, he was still like, maybe something happened during the Vietnam trip. Maybe something happened to him. Maybe something was going on with him. And so I just gave him space. But I guess I'm still giving him space because I don't know what the fuck going on with him. And so we just haven't talked since then, and I just don't know what to do about it. And I guess I've never really talked about the situation because it's like kind of really personal, and I don't know if that's something. I mean, this channel, I want it to be personal, but I guess I just never wanted to get this personal because it is really emotional to me, even though I'm not out here fucking, bawling my fucking eyes out. I'm still like kind of broken up about it. And if he's showing up in my dreams, obviously I'm still thinking about some things about him and our relationship and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just really sucks to not be in communication with someone you've regularly like been in communication with. And when I tell you I was close with this motherfucker, I was close. Like, we were going out like every single weekend getting boba. We were just going fuck where anything. Like, he'll call me up and be like, you want to go get boba, bitch? And I'll be like, fuck yeah. And we'll just fucking do everything together. And just to think that like from that to this, just from a Vietnam trip, I was just like, what is going on? Like, we didn't even spend the entire trip together. I would expect myself to get tired of him after like, a couple of weeks, but no, we didn't even fucking hang out during the entire trip. Like, we were doing our own thing, and he was doing his own thing. He came back to me and he was acting all like that, and I was just like, well, I'm not his mother. I'm not responsible for him. And like I said, he's a Scorpio and I'm an Aries, and when I say that we are like bitchy ass fucking signs, we are bitchy ass fucking signs. Okay, there is no way that we're gonna be able to reconcile this in like an Aries or Pisces or an emotional way. We're not gonna sit down and discuss what happened. We're not gonna sit down and talk about our feelings. We're not gonna sit down and be like, oh, what you did to me hurt me, or like what you did to me, this and that. We're not gonna fucking do that because we're not built like that. Okay, like, we've never been emotional with each other. Like majority of our conversations has always just been like banter. We always argue with each other, but in like a friendly way, in like a way where it's like, oh, you ugly bitch, or like, shut the fuck up, you bitch, or something like that, like something like, I don't know, but we've never been like, sit down and be like, oh, like, how's your life going, like this and that, because the fuck, we'll just update each other when we need to. Like, he'll just be like, oh, my friend did this and that. I'll be like, oh, that's funny, that's funny. The fuck? And so, yeah, and the thing is, like, I feel like I would have invited him to my graduation if he wasn't being like this. Like, I would have loved to like invite him to my graduation, and let him be there for that moment of like celebration. But no, we weren't talking. And I was expecting him to graduate with me because both my cousins are a year older than me. So I was expecting them to graduate this year because I'm graduating a year early. And so I was expecting them to walk with me, but I guess I don't know what's going on there. I didn't see him in the graduation because the way that graduation works is that like you graduate in your different colleges, but you're in like the U of M basically. And so if you're in Carlson, you'll graduate with Carlson people. But if you're graduating in the design school, you graduate with design people. And so I graduated with design people. And like I said, my cousin is in design school, and so it's expecting him to walk with me, but like I didn't see him anywhere. And so I was just like, okay, that's weird, that's funky, but I didn't think too much of it. But yeah. That's what's been going on, and it's kind of been in the background of my mind for like the last year or two, because I was just like, oh, like, it would have been so fun if like we could have linked up at design school. Like, I could have gone to his showcase, I could have gone to this and that, because I know that he had this big showcase thing, and I would love to have been there for him, and like, stuff like that. And we could have been like, late night on the campus together, but yeah, no, we didn't have that. And that's just like something I guess I'm sad about. I kind of like downplay it when I'm around my friends. I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess because normally I'm just like, what, fuck that bitch. Like, if you don't want to talk to me, this and that, because they know my cousin, because I've talked to her all the time, because that's my cousin. Like, we talk about our families and stuff like that in our friend group and stuff like that. And so they know my cousin. And I guess they were even surprised to hear that me and him haven't like spoken to each other in like a year or two, because we've always been that close. Like we've always been in communication. We've always just, been like that. And so it's been, yeah, really tough. Like going from, and then even, oh my gosh, I forgot to say, when we came back from Vietnam, we still had to live with each other. I totally forgot about that. I think I just blanked it out, but we still lived together at that point. And it was just so passive aggressive, and like the vibes were completely changed in that house. Like I feel like the only person I was getting along with was my frat cousin, and when I tell you I don't get along with that motherfucker ever, I don't. And so it just felt weird. That's all. Like I had to live with him still, and even from living with each other, we barely even exchange any words to each other. Like we would text every now and then. He'll be like, it'll be very passive aggressive though. He's like, "Oh, where's my sweater?" Because we'll borrow each other's clothes and stuff like that. But other than that, it was really and we had a group chat together with like the three of us, and like we wouldn't even chat with each other in there. I'll just respond to my frat cousin or something like that, but we wouldn't even like communicate in there either. And it's just been like that ever since. Like now, I like at first I think I felt like some anger with him. Like I felt so much sadness, and then went to anger, and it just went to like just I don't know how I felt at that point. I guess I just felt numb at that point. And then now I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know how I feel. I don't know. Like, and I guess the reason why I'm thinking about this a little bit more is that like I haven't gone to a lot of family events, mainly because I'm just not sure if I should even be there. And I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I don't, cause like that's my family too. Like my family attends is a family event, But I've basically skipped like Christmas. I've skipped like New Year's. I've skipped a lot of family events, mainly because I'm just not sure if I should be there. And that's and like since it's July 3rd and there's an event going on today, because my his family invited me and my family over because my his sister's husband was able to get a green card to America, and so he's been here for a couple months, and so they wanted to celebrate that. And they invited me and my family, but I just don't know if I even want to go, and I don't even know if I want to go to tomorrow's event, which is the 4th of July, because I just don't know if I should go. And I have not been to like a family event since I can't remember the last time I've been to a family event. I'll be so honest with you. I've skipped all of them, I think. I skipped Christmas, I skipped New Year's, I skipped Chinese New Year, I think. I think. Yeah, I skipped that. I most definitely skipped that. I skipped Thanksgiving. I skipped some birthdays, I think. I skipped, yeah, I just skipped a lot of fucking holidays basically. And this is not something I would normally come here and talk about because it's really personal, because it's like, oh, like you're not involved with your family like that. But I'm usually like, usually I'm the flaky one. Like usually they won't know if I'll show up or not. But if my favorite cousin was there, I would show up. But if he wasn't, then I wouldn't show up, because I'm like, man, what the fuck is the point of being there? And so nowadays, if I know he's there, I'm just kind of like, oh, well, I don't really want to go, because I don't know if I should be there. I don't know if the vibes are gonna be off. I don't know if I'm gonna be even comfortable being there. I don't know if I even want to be there. And for me, I'm someone who really likes free will, and so if I don't want to be somewhere, then I'm not going to be there. If I'm not feeling it, then I'm not feeling it, and I'm not going. And so I just have not been to any family events, and that's one of the primary reasons why. Like there's some other reasons why I just don't. I normally don't have fun at these family events. Like I like the food and everything, but my like at this point, my mom and dad know me too well. They'll be just like, "You want to go?" And I'll be like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, we'll bring you home some food," and that's it. Like I've always been like this. But it's been more frequent now that me and my cousin have not been speaking, because there's no point in me going to those parties anymore. And yeah, like I said, I've always been like this. I don't normally go to family occasions, even if sometimes my cousin is there, because I just don't want to go. And if I don't want to go, then I don't want to go. But nowadays it's been more so like that, and I just don't know if I want to go this year around. Like I even skipped the 4th of July last year and all of that hoo-ha. And I like skipped their housewarming party because they moved into a new house. I skipped so many things, and I don't know. like I don't wish I went, because I know that if I went, I'd still, feel uncomfortable, because I don't like being around big crowds. I don't like going to family events because they always have something to say about me, and I fucking hate going there because they always have something fucking to say. And so I just don't like going there. But if I had my cousin, I'd be okay, but no, I just don't want to go. And so that's been what's going on with me. And since he's been showing up in my dreams, I guess it's been on my mind a lot, because if he's showing up in my dreams, then there's something going on. And like I said, like the dreams are just so comfortable. Like it feels like I've never argued with him. It feels like we've like and when I wake up, it just feels like so like jolting, being like, oh shit, like we haven't even made up. Like we're still whatever the fuck. We're still whatever the fuck, and I don't know. Like there's some moments like I wish that he was there for. Like I wish he was there for my 21st, because I was there for his 21st, and I would love to like, go out and drink with him, because he didn't get to do that on his birthday because I was the one that was smashed. And so I wanted him to, like for my 21st, I would have at least wanted him to like come with me and be the fucking smash face one while I'm, mostly the sober one, or something like that. We can both go out and drink and stuff like that. Or like this like celebration. Like I wish I was there to like celebrate his, he's like portfolio or whatever the fuck, like celebrate his big showcase, or like celebrate his big house, or like celebrate his house and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like just a lot of things. And I don't know. I think about it like kind of a lot more than I think I would admit, because it's not something I really, talk about, and it's not something I would talk about around my friends, because it's like they know my cousin, they know my relationship with him, but like they don't know. And like I can't even talk to my mom about it, because I know she'll go yip yapping. And if I wouldn't talk with my dad about it, and I wouldn't even talk to his sister about it, because I don't want to make her worry, because she's obviously had a lot on her plate, and she's one of those people that I don't like to tell my issues to, because I know she has so much on her plate that I don't want to make her worry about me, because she's always been like an older sister to me. And so the last thing I want to do is to tell her about, whatever I'm feeling, and make her worry when she has like a zillion other things to worry about. And so, yeah. Yeah, I guess you guys are the only people I can talk to about this, but even now, I just don't even know how to feel about it, because when I say that this motherfucker and me did fucking everything together, we like did everything together. Like he would drive me up to my college classes. He would be commuting. I'll be like, bitch, come pick me up, and he would pick me up, and he would pick me up from after my classes. We'd go get to eat together. We'd go like eat together, and then we would like, like dick around, and then like even like when we were living together, like me and him would like go annoy our frat cousin. We would go into his room and like be like, why does it smell like Medusa in here? And like we would just like fucking make fun of him, and then leave him, and like make fun of him for being straight, and then leave. And then we'll just like, and then like he'll like drive us like late nights to go get like McDonald's and stuff like that, and he would always pay for me, and I would always pay him back, because I'm like, can you just pay for me? I'll pay you back, because I'm kind of strapped for cash right now. And then he's like a really chill dude, so I'll be like, you know what, fuck it, like don't just pay me back whenever. And I'll try to pay him back, but sometimes I'll forget, and I'm just like, oh my god. But I always try to pay him back, and like like he would always like drive us everywhere, and it was really chill. And I guess I try to like think about what, because like I don't want to make it all about myself, because I don't want to seem like this narcissistic person, like, oh, like he's mad at me, like I did something wrong, like what is it that I did? Because I don't want to think that way. I don't want to think that like it's all about me. Like I want to make sure that like I'm thinking about like what's he going through. So I don't know I don't know what's going, like recently there's been a death in his family, but I don't think that's the issue. I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like it's inconsequential, but like, doesn't it seem like kind of far removed from ours? I don't know, because this was recent, and that was like 2 years ago. So I'm kind of like, it's weird saying 2 years ago, by the way, because it does feel like it literally feels like last winter, or like this winter, that we had this argument. But no, it's literally been almost 2 years that we have not been speaking to each other, and it just feels like, I don't want to say that there's like this void in my life, but it kind of does feel like there's this void in my life, because when you kind of lose connection with someone that you have always been in connection with, it truly feels like there's just something like missing, almost like something that like something like, it's not like I ever spoke to him about like kind of emotional things. I never really talked about my life with him. We just kind of shoot the shit, like imagine like emergency intercom, but like with me and him. That's what we did. We didn't talk about anything emotional. We just kind of shoot the shit all the fucking time. And so it's not like I miss like emotional talks with him. I guess I just kind of miss his company more than anything, and I miss that I wasn't there for his big milestones and he wasn't there for mine, and I just kind of feel. I don't know if he feels any way about me. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't care about me. I'm pretty sure that, he's probably like, fuck that bitch. Like, I don't want to see that bitch ever again. I'm pretty sure he doesn't give a fuck about me because that's how Scorpios are. Once, they cut someone from their lives, it's kind of like done and did. And so I kind of expect him to just kind of not give a fuck about me and not care about, what I'm doing and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not like that. I'm not built like that. I obviously care about what he's doing. I care about, the things that he's up to, and I care about if he's doing well. And to hear that there's been some things going on in his family, I feel bad about, obviously. But there's really not much, like, but for me, I'm like a really kind of emotionally stunted person. So I don't want to reach out and be like, hey, yo, bro, like, you good? Or some shit like that, because that's not really in my person. It would feel inauthentic because while I care, it kind of feels like, I'm using the death of whatever the fuck to reach out and try to amend whatever. It just feels like not my area to be, because right now it's about him. It's about his family and about his mourning. I don't want to, be a fucking dickhole and fucking hop in there and be like, so let's talk about us. Cause I think I'm a little bit more mature than that to just kind of make it all about me when he's going through something. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna assume that, he was going through a rough time and I just was not, keen on it, like wasn't able to kind of recognize that. And I still am not sure if there was anything going on at that point. I'm not sure if it was me, if I did something. Trust me when I say I've laid in bed thinking about everything, like my step, like every fucking step in Vietnam. But for the fucking life of me, I cannot remember if I said anything wrong. I cannot remember if I did anything wrong. I cannot remember if like anything like that. Like I can't remember what happened. Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't remember a lot of what went on with Vietnam. Like, I can't remember what happened like last week with me, okay? I can't remember a lot of that. So like I've been trying to like rack my head into like what did I do wrong? Like, is there something I need to apologize for? Is there like whatever the fuck? But no, I haven't done any of that. And so I haven't remembered any of it. So if I have, I would obviously reach out and be like, hey yo, I'm so sorry or whatever the fuck. But I haven't been able to discern what I've done wrong, and I don't want to apologize if there's nothing to apologize for, because that'll be inauthentic and that's not who I am, okay? And I just don't know. I just don't know at this point on what to do. If you guys can give me some advice, I'd be really grateful. But by the time this video comes up, it's probably going to be like August and I'm going to be over it. I'll be like, whatever the fuck. But yeah, I do miss him. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I do miss him. But at the same time, if he doesn't give a fuck about me, I think that it's probably best for me to move on. Like, I have been moving on. It's not like, I fucking stalk him. It's not like I, fucking, sit outside his fucking house thinking about, oh, like, what the fuck are you up to and stuff like that. Like, occasionally I'll see like his social posts and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, good for him. I'm glad he's doing well. I'm glad, he's doing what he got to do. But, it also sucks because I do miss the times that we had together. Like, I feel like we have had so much fun. Like, I feel like we could be talking about Brat together. We could be talking about this and that together. We can talk about like all this gay stuff together. But no. And like I said, I have friends. You guys know I have friends, but like at the same time, it's different. It's different when you lose a family connection over like a friend connection. At least in my opinion, it just feels like you've like, I don't know, but like it also feels a lot more personal because he's at the parties that I'm at. He's at like all the events that I'm at, and my family know him, and our family know each other. We know like all our like relationship issues and stuff like that, and so it's a lot more personal in that regard, and so it's a lot more difficult for me to talk about, because if I were to talk about like my breakup with my friends and stuff like that, it wouldn't be like too whatever the fuck, because normally my friends it's very insular, so like my friends won't know each other basically, and so if I were to cut a relationship with one friend, it won't affect the other friends because it's insular, like we're not connected anyway. But in this instance, it's a family member, and so once it's severed, a lot of people will know, and it kind of severs a lot of the things that go on with the rest of my family accordance or whatever the fuck. And so yeah, I didn't expect this video to take this way. It's a really kind of deeper video than I had anticipated, but yeah, it's I don't know if we're ever gonna reconcile. I don't know if anything's ever gonna happen. I'm pretty sure one day we'll see each other, and either we won't talk and just ignore each other, or we'll just be like, hey, yo, what's up? How you doing? And I don't know when that's gonna happen. I'll be honest with you, because right now I'm okay with my frat cousin. I'm okay with my other cousin, not the other cousin, like my younger cousin. I'm okay with his sister. I don't know how she feels about me. I haven't talked to her in like also 2 years, but it's not like I also missed her. Like I missed her quite a bit as well, because like I said, she's like my older sister, and it's kind of like I lost that relationship as well. And so I basically lost 2 relationships in one. And it really sucks. I don't know if they miss me. I don't know if they care about me. I don't care if they, I'm not saying I don't care. I don't know if they, even think about me. I don't know if they, because they have a lot going on with their lives. They're a really busy family. And so I can't just be in my room thinking all these narcissistic thoughts like, oh, I bet they miss me so much, or oh, I bet this and that, because I don't know. And I can't say if they miss me or not, but like I miss them. I know that much. And so, yeah, but I don't want to reach out to them and annoy them. And, I don't know. I just always think that, like, when I'm, like, talking to people, I feel like I'm always annoying them. Or, like, when I reach out, I don't know what's going on with their life. And I don't want to, make presumptions that, they miss me or something like that, because I'm not that narcissistic. I don't think that everybody thinks that I'm, the only person in their life. I don't think that I'm, like, their main character in their lives. I don't, because they have things going on, and so I don't want to invade in that. And like I said, there was a death in their family, and so I don't want to reach out and, try to make it about me. Like, hey, yo, you miss me? Because the fuck I look like. But maybe I should reach out and be like, sorry. I did, like, not comment. I, like, reacted to their Facebook post about it and be like, I'm sorry. Like, the sorry face on Facebook. But I didn't say anything else, because I know... I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. And if you guys have any advice with this, I'd be really grateful. But like I said, I'm not really sure how to approach this, because like I said, we're both kind of stubborn people. And I think that we're both kind of, I don't even know what like stoic. I think like stoic is probably the word. Like we both have never been very emotional with each other, and we just have never really been that type of people to like argue like that. We've never had a big argument like this. Like we didn't even argue. One day it just like we didn't say nothing. Like I didn't even say anything. Like we didn't even have any choice words. We never really cussed each other out. We never had an argument. I swear to God, like the only arguments we've ever had are stupid fucking arguments. Like, oh, you think that guy is cute? No, fuck you, this and that. Like, fuck you, think that. Like we've argued about like what Lady Gaga song is the best. We've argued about these dumb shit, whatever the fuck. But we never like had these big fucking arguments where we've like literally stopped talking to each other. We've never had this, and we've never had moments like because we've always literally, he's like my thing one, he's the thing one and I'm thing two. I'll accept being thing two because I'm okay with that. But like we literally like share the same brain cell. We're always thinking the same thing, and we're always on the same wavelength. And so I'm not sure what the fuck is going on. And so I can't. But like for me, I think that I know him pretty well, but at the same time, you could never really know somebody. So I don't know if he cares about me. I don't know if he thinks about me. I don't know if he actually like thinks of me as like his favorite cousin. I don't know. I don't know what he thinks about me. And that's a problem. Like we don't talk to each other about that. We don't make it known that, because we're always like, oh, I hate you. Like you're ugly. You're a bitch. Get away from me. You're ugly. Stuff like that. And so we've never really showed like actual affection towards each other. And I do that with my other cousins as well, but with this one it's different, And so I just don't know. It really sucks, but at the same time, I think I'm dwelling on it too much. I think that since he's been in my dreams, and it's like I said, those dreams are really comforting because it brings me back to a time where it feels really nostalgic. It feels like I'm comfortable. It feels like real life. And when I wake up, I just kind of realize that, oh, he's actually not in my life anymore. And I just have to come to terms with that, I think, because it's not like at this point it's like irreparable. I think that it can be fixed. I just don't know how to go about it. And I think it's one of those like early 20s, like, because a lot of people say that when you're in your once you turn like 18 into like your 25 until you're 25 or something like that. And so it's like a second puberty almost. And I think that this is another one of those growing pains where you kind of deal with those difficult life growing moments where you're kind of like, oh, I'm going through this. Like, this is not like child stuff. This is not like, you know, like my friend fucking spit in my fucking food, or like, oh, like she said this about me, like that, like childhood bullshit, you know? Like, now it feels like a lot more adult, because it feels like we're both adults and we're both living these different lives, and we're just not sure as adults where to go from here. And I just don't know where to go from here. It's like, it's really difficult as an adult to kind of rekindle a relationship, because once you're distant from each other, once you have that physical distance, it's hard to kind of get back to where you once were, because you don't have that proximity anymore. And so I just don't know what to do. And I can't, yeah, I would like some advice about it. If you guys have ever gone through something like this, if it's with like your sibling, if you're with your cousin, with somebody, I think I would really like to hear about it. And don't tell me to reach out to him, because I will not. There's something within me that will not let me do it. It's that stubbornness, it's that ego, and I can recognize that in myself. So do not give me the advice to reach out to him, because I will not do that. I will not do that. That is something that I will not do. Unless it's the only option, then I will. But if there's like a workaround, if there's, you know, some fucking, you know, zigzag or whatever the fuck, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. If you want me to show up at his door and shit on his door, I will do that. But I will not send a text. If you want me to show up at his door, hands and knees, begging him to come back to me, I will do that. But I will not send him a text, because what the fuck I look like? Yeah. So give me some advice, but do not tell me to fucking text him, because I will not fucking do that. But yeah, I think that's it. That's been on my mind, because I just, like I said, the family events, like usually when like big family events like this happen, it always comes back up. And now that it's the 4th of July nearly, it kind of, it's a lot more like in my head. And I guess I just don't really know what to do about it. And, yeah. I mean, I do want to go to these family events and stuff and, you know, hang out and do all that. My voice feels a lot more clear now. I should, like, clear my voice out, like, a couple of sentences ago. But, yeah. I just don't know. So, yeah, give me some advice if you want to. If you guys have made it this far, it means you guys really care about me. So, that's cool. And thank God I didn't start crying. Because if I did, you guys would have to arrest me. Because if I start crying at all, oh, my gosh. But, yeah. That's what's been going on, and that's probably why I was kind of a little bit more kind of hesitant to talk about Vietnam, mainly because that kind of soured my experience a little bit. I'm not saying that my Vietnam experience was bad because of him. I had a lot of fun still, but I think that every time I think back about Vietnam, I think about the beginning of how much fun I had, and then it kind of trails off to like, oh, I did this and this, and then it'll come back into like, oh, like this is when everything happened, and it does sour it a little bit, and I keep on like replaying in my head like if we weren't fighting, like if we would like how my view of Vietnam would be and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So yeah, I'm just gonna log off now, because I feel like I've talked too much. I just want to get back to crocheting. But yeah. I hope this video wasn't too like boring. I feel like it probably was, but it is what it is. It's about me. It's all about me. And so yeah, hopefully I can come back with updates in the future about this situation, but unlikely, very unlikely. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, kisses.